Peter Drucker was right. Culture does eat strategy for breakfast. I first learned this lesson a few months after we raised our A round. In April 2018, we raised a $27 million A round. We just found our product market fit, and now was the time to find our business model fit. That business model was a marketplace, and Tier 1 VCs invested $27 million in that idea. A few months after closing our round, we launched our marketplace and we sold our first product. We were so excited that we popped a few bottles of champagne. But what we did not know at the time was that this will be the last product we will ever sell. Within a few months, it was clear that this is not working out. As a CEO, I was petrified. I just raised tons of money to make this happen, and it wasn't working. The strategy was clearly wrong. So I did what any other CEO would do. I called a board meeting. I went in there, declared the marketplace as a failure, presented our finding, and suggested a new path forward, a SaaS business model. I thought the board would be furious at me. But to my surprise, they were super happy. Why are you so happy? I asked. We are happy because you figured it out that it wasn't working after a few months and after a few hundreds of thousands of dollars, not after a few years and $27 million. Now let's get to work and make it happen, they said. Wow, that is how you do things, and that is culture, I thought to myself. By following one of the leadership principles that define our culture, we saved our company. That leadership principle is strong conviction, loosely held. Today, we raised over $100 million, and we're growing our team to 450 employees. So, Peter Drucker, you were right. Culture does its strategy for breakfast. It ate ours. But you were also wrong, because culture eats everything for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Uber and WeWork had a great start and the right strategy. They achieved massive financial success and made a huge impact on the world with their products. And still, they became primetime docudramas and lost $60 billion in market cap. $60 billion. This happened for one reason: their toxic culture. Culture ate the market cap. Culture also eats employee health. We all know how important managers are, but did you know that a manager has more impact on your employees' health than their own doctor? In fact, research shows that employees that have a toxic manager are 55% more likely to be diagnosed with a major disease. 55%. I have yet to meet a business that can be successful without healthy employees. Culture also eats employee retention. Basecamp tried to create a vacuum-like culture, a culture that does not acknowledge their team members as humans and one that ignores their lived experiences. They sent a company-wide email announcing that all political matters, human rights issues, and world problems are banned from being discussed at the workplace. A day after, 1/3 of the company quit. Culture ate employee retention. Now, I hope that we can all agree that a healthy culture is crucial to building a successful company. But how do you actually go about building such a culture? This is something that we have been obsessing about at BenchSci for years now. We think about culture as a four-legged stool. It has our values, which guide our decision-making process, our rules of engagement that guide how we treat each other, our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion inside and outside of our company, and our leadership principles that guide our managers. The first step of building a culture in alignment with this framework is to codify it, which is really just a fancy way of saying writing it down. So we did some soul searching. We spoke to each and every person who works in our company, and we looked at companies that inspire us to come up with our values, rules of engagement, leadership principles, and DEI commitment. The second step is to operationalize your culture. Writing your values on the wall is really nice, but it doesn't really do anything. Culture has to be integrated into every single thing that you do. It's how you hire, it's how you promote, it's how you part ways, how you run meetings, how you make decisions, how you communicate. It has to be integrated into your policies, and you need to develop rituals and symbols around it, just like cultures and religions do. The third and final step is to remember that culture requires constant maintenance, just like a house. Might need a new roof, new plumbing, paint job, and more. At BenchSci, we make sure we renovate our culture every single year, so we never have to tear it down. Culture transformation is not a good thing, and it is nothing to be proud of. And as long as you take care of your culture constantly, you'll never have to completely transform it. What I love about culture the most is the fact that it scales. It is probably the only thing that scales without slowing you down and adding bureaucracy. This is a picture of Japanese fans after a 2-1 win versus Colombia at the World Cup tournament. Japanese fans stayed for hours after the game to clean their area of the stadium. They didn't do it because they had to, and they didn't do it because someone asked them to. They did it because they believed it was the right thing to do. They did it because it is their culture. Now, there are over 135 million people who live in Japan. And if they can scale their culture on over 100 million people, each and every one of us should be able to do this for a few hundreds or thousands of employees. Today, I invite each and every one of you to integrate culture into your definition of success. Not because it eats everything for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but because it's the right thing to do. How we accomplish things is as important as what we accomplish. So, what is it in your culture, and what are you going to do about it? Thank you.